What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Welcome to
Every time.
the show. Sonny's always got some extra stuff going on over there.
I be trying to share the show, and then I be on the page, and everything start playing. I never turn the volume down.
Yeah, you got to turn that volume down.
Yeah.
All right, well, welcome to tonight's show. We have another great show lined up for you guys. This show was actually brought to you by one of our Join the Conversation group members. We asked the members to give us some ideas, like to basically, tell us what they want to hear about, tell us what they want us to talk about. And this was one of the topics that they threw out there. So make sure you guys go over to join the conversation group over at facebook.com/groups/GFT join the conversation to get in on all those great topics that we do over there. Like I said, tonight's show is brought to you by one of those topic requests. And so we're going to be talking about how much abuse can a man take from his woman. So the topic suggestion was basically discussing, abuse in relationships and why do men stay in abusive relationships. We talk about women in abusive relationships a lot, not only just us, but in society in general, right? And we talk about how, the reasons why women stay and the reasons why it happens, the things that go on in these kind of relationships, as well as the red flags to look out for and things like that. But what we rarely discuss, and the reason I'm wearing my Protect Our Boys Like We Protect Our Girls shirt, is because we rarely discuss what happens when men are abused in relationships, either be it mentally, emotionally, or physically, particularly physically. And I think it's a big thing that, I can't remember what the percentage is, but there's this high percentage that they have out there of basically how many men don't report physical or domestic abuse by their mate, be it a woman or a man. So we want to discuss that. We want to discuss the reasons why men stay, the reasons it happens, what goes on in those relationships and things like that. So stick around, join us in the comments. Definitely, put your comments in, ask questions, and we will definitely talk through it. Sonny, so what's your take on men being abused in these relationships and what they're going through?
Well, I've known quite a few men who were either physically abused, some more verbally and physically abused. I think the problem is it's the stigma that, like we said on our thing. That's why Clint said that statement: "Protect our boys like protect our girls," because we don't look as women as predators. Mm-hmm. We don't look at them in the standpoint of. Some people have the idea that the same way they feel like men can't be raped, they can't be abused. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're a man. So the reason why it goes unreported is because it probably gets reported more in the same sex situation versus the opposite sex situation, because it's looked upon as you're weak. What do you mean you let her hit you? Mm-hmm. Types of things. So I think, a lot of men aren't going to be comfortable enough to go to the police station and go to these things and say this woman is abusing me and help me, because you're looked at as the dominant person of the situation. You should be able, it's just, to some people it's amusing to be abused, and that's why I say it coincides with rape, because we don't look at females as predators, and it can happen. Mm-hmm. It's not just men out here raping men or boys; it's women too.
Right.
So that's the issue, I think. So for most, so the guys that I know for one guy in particular, I joked and used to always ask him, was he safe? Because
right.
He wasn't going to say he told you what was going on, so you knew he was being abused, but I don't think he took it as serious as he needed to, because if the guys labeled it as, oh, she's crazy, she's just crazy. No, she's abusive. If she's putting her hands on you physically when she's upset, and then doing the same thing a man would do, apologize, you take her back, and she keeps abusing you, that's abuse. Hey, Jim Animal.
What's good, Jim Animal? Appreciate you with the support. Make sure y'all check out Jim Animal and his crew on, I believe it's on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. For the Straight Shooting Podcast. They're on IG as well as Facebook and Apple TV. I definitely agree that a lot of it has to do with the stigma, right? There's been study upon study upon study. There's been studies by psychology groups, by medical groups, by peer groups, and these society groups or social groups that all basically come up with the same answers. It's social stigma. A lot of men are involved in these abusive relationships and stay mainly and don't complain about it, mainly because of the fact that it's, like you said, social. It becomes almost socially unacceptable, right? It's hard for a man to come across, I guess, seriously saying that, hey, I've been abused by this woman in this relationship, or like you said, they don't even recognize it as being abused. They see it as just, my girlfriend's crazy, or my wife is, she goes off the handle sometimes, and blah, blah, blah. And I think that, changing the viewpoint or changing the narrative is what's important here, right? And make sure men understand that you being a victim is not your fault. Being a victim does not make you weak. Being a victim does not make you less than a man. It actually just means that you're a person who's going through something that other people are going through. And
it's crazy because I just watched and this may not fall into the line of this, but just looking at the interview and in the seriousness of the interview, Chris Brown talked about him and Rihanna's situation. And listening to him talk about it, like I said, I'm not taking it as it's the gospel truth, but in that situation, and this is what we got to stop doing. And I just had a conversation with somebody today about this. The type of relationship they had, they both were physically putting their hands on each other.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't, and like, not to his defense, but understanding, and I told my daughter this before. She was young. Her friend was getting into an argument with this boy in school. They were young, and the friend was talking. The boy was talking junk to the friend, and my daughter hit the boy, and she was shocked that he hit her back.
Right.
And it's like, I need you to understand that you put your hands on somebody's going to put their hands on you back.
Right.
But that in and of itself, their relationship was abusive to each other, Rihanna's and Chris Brown's.
Right.
And then it goes to the extreme. And we have to understand the same way I'm gonna raise my son to be. You can't do that, because in that situation, no matter if she put her hands on you first, this is the result of it. You are the problem.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, in that situation, he may not have understood what the level of abuse he was either taking or accepting.
Because even in the interview, his mindset was, we were both fighting each other. Like, that's you don't,
the mentality. Yeah,
it's not that he even got but then he was young. I'm sure now he got it.
Yeah.
But it was like, in that mindset, you think it's just a tit for tat. And well, she hit me too. And it's like, no, you guys are abusive to each other. And that's a problem. It's toxic.
Yeah. And I was about to say, I think in those situations, it's this toxic mix of emotions, lashing out, things like that. And it's just a powder keg, right? Waiting to explode. What up, Hype? What's good with you, brother?
What's up, gang?
Hey,
I ain't had to do a double today. So.
Oh man. Yeah, well, I actually just finished working myself, and I started at like 6:30 in the morning. Just finished about 10-15 minutes ago.
5:16 alarm went off on me this morning.
Oh man, yeah, no doubt. But me and Hype were both up talking about business last night, so I already know how
copy. When you text me, I was up wide awake.
I'm texting him at 2 a.m. like, yeah, I'm gonna need you to do this, this, and this. And he's like, all right, guys.
I woke up at 3:45. Like, I woke up at 3:40.
Probably like 8. I let niggas live. I figure 8 o'clock, everybody taking their kids to school now. So you up?
Yeah, true.
And you know what's funny? I just had a conversation with a female that I know today. We were talking about. She asked me about the podcast. We talked about it, and I was telling her what the topic was. And you know what she said to me? And this is what I think all females need to understand. And I hope she jump in the comments at some point tonight because she said she was going to tune in once I posted it. But she said that she was in a relationship with this guy, and she was being abusive to him. Prior to that, he never put his hands on her. Then he flipped the script and started abusing her. And she was like, but before that, he never put his hands on me. I was always the aggressor. And after a while, he just flipped it and was like, now it was my turn.
Right.
And it's like the example, the basically the sum it up, keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah.
Like
that's what I was about to say, man.
And that's keep your hands to yourself and you'll be fine. Don't be
to a lot of. Go ahead, Sonny. My bad.
Oh no, that's what I was saying. Like I told my daughter that, and I always tell my son that. Don't put your hands on people. Like I understand and even as 38, if I put my hands on a man, the possibility of him hitting me back may be possible. It's a 50-50 chance that he may hit me right the fuck back.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I can't say he was abusing me.
Oh, right.
I started it. He just finished it.
Yeah.
Not that he should, but I'm just saying, like, because it's a lot of females, and I know quite a few. I've known guys that don't hit females, and the females will go ham, smack them up, punch them, do all this stuff. And as soon as he jump, you're like, oh, you're going to hit me? And you like terrified that he's going to hit you. But you've been like, I literally saw a female hit a man for like 15 minutes straight. Like I'm talking punch every, like not even know, like, and that's the thing. People assume that women are actually weaker. You so cold, punch the shit out of this dude.
Right.
Like for 15 minutes, you was just going ham. He raised his hand one time. You acting like he.
Now you the victim.
Muhammad Ali, you're a whole victim, and this man been telling you to leave him alone. He done try to walk away. You done pulled his shirt, ripped him, and that's why I say like I don't condone it. I've been there, done that.
Yeah, go ahead, honey. What was your comment?
My daughter the baby just walked up here. My
Sorry.
I mean, I completely agree with what Sonny's saying. The only time that I condone you getting hit is if you spit on me. Spit, not even just me, just spit is like the ultimate form of disrespect. Get off the tablet. My bad, y'all. Live parenting. The only time that like spit is just completely is as disrespectful as it gets. You can say whatever you want. We are adults. You know how to control your emotions and all of that. You can do whatever because at some point, like you said, at any point, this man can pin you up against the wall just off the brute strength. And like I can pin you up against the wall, walk the fuck away from you. Damn, my bad. And walk the fuck away from you. I don't have to take it there. Especially like if you feel like you have to take it there, then you don't need to be with this individual. This is something that I touched on before, where it's like
that's facts.
You see these red flags. If we are two people who came from two damaged situations, we don't need to be together. The damaged person needs to get with the person who came from a healthy situation because they can show you what it's supposed to look like. If two damaged people get together, all they do is create damaged kids and form more damaged babies, which turns into more of a problem. Here we go, live parenting. Say hi, Eris. Where's the camera?
Hey, little baby.
Yeah, like all two hurt people do is create other hurt people because they don't know how to do anything but show hurt, and they don't even know how to show love for the most part. I don't want to put everybody in the same category, but hurt people only know how to show. They heard you, mama.
Hi. It's so cute.
They only know how to show you like a hurt situation. They can't show you what like a positive love and a positive situation looks like because that's not what was normalized in them. That's not the situation that they came from.
Right.
So you have to walk away from them situations though when you recognize like, oh no, this motherfucker got a bad temper, whether that's a guy or a girl. Yeah. They got a short fuse and they don't know how to conduct themselves like an adult. They don't know how to talk shit out and handle themselves the right way. I'll let you.
Yeah, that's why I say I understand.
I'm calling you. Go ahead.
It's the understanding of like, and I say it. Dealing with it, dealt with a domestic violence situation, you can't put your hands on people. is not acceptable. If you feel like that's the way to go, you got to sometimes, like you said, you got to walk off and walk away and leave that person alone, because if they get you to that point, you're going to get to that point. I tell my guy friends when they tell me that they're going through with their currents or whatever the case may be, and they start flirting with, I almost choked her out, I almost did this. You need to leave her alone, because one day she going to tiptoe across that line, and you're going to go and you're going down. Like, period.
What up, though, Smooth? Appreciate you joining, bro.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody?
Sounds like what's up, bro?
Hey.
Long, brother.
Yeah, so we're discussing what happens when two people in a toxic situation escalate. We were talking about earlier how men are more susceptible to staying in or not reporting domestic violence because of public stigma, social stigmas, feeling that it's either socially unacceptable or feel that pressure of not being taken serious, but also the whole problem of recognizing it, right? That's what we were just discussing now. It's like, how do you recognize as a man that you're being abused when the thing is like, most people be like, oh, she's just acting out, or she's just being crazy, the whole my girlfriend's crazy type of deal. But that's one thing I wanted to touch on next, was just talking about how do men get involved in these kind of relationships. And a lot of times I feel like it is that drama or that toxicity or that hurt people.
It's that trauma from
that trauma.
It's that trauma from your mom, because that's what you think is this is what you think it's supposed to look like. If your mom was a toxic individual who could never tell you she loved you, but she always put you down, demeaned you, and belittled you, then that's what you're gonna go out there and look for, because that's what's been normalized to you. That's what you think that's what love looks like for you, because that's the way you've been given it. Same situation with a girl and her dad. If her dad is always somebody who demeaned and belittled her and didn't like big her up and didn't try to mold her and shape her and show her the way that a man is supposed to treat a woman, then she gonna go out here and attract ain't shit niggas and then wonder why the rest of her life I keep getting these ain't shit niggas.
Right. Smooth. What do you think about that? Like, how these men get involved in these relationships?
Low self-esteem. That's all that comes down to, low self-esteem. Because if you have any sort of standards, you're not going to allow that to go down like that. You feel me? And I also agree with Hank that we are attracted to what we see. You feel me? We only know what we see. So if we only seeing chaos, we only know the women to be chaotic that surround us. You feel me? The women that love us are all chaotic. Then normally that's what we're gonna be attracted to. That's because that's our comfort zone. Our comfort zone is chaos, being in the midst of chaos. Me personally, I know dudes in that situation that's been in that situation, and I could completely tell you come from a low self-esteem. They feel like they can't do better, and in other situations, it's circumstance. You feel me?
Stand for the kids, like they stand for the kids.
He endured, stand for the kids, and you feel me? He felt obligated to her. You feel me? She probably held him down, and it's at a specific point.
Yeah, my man had one of them situations. Made it back.
Yeah, but now since he got his feet, he on his feet again. The tables turned a little bit, so that breeds some resentment from the other side. And so he withstood that barrage coming from her, because now the shoe was on the other foot, and she felt like he was supposed to go above and beyond, and he was trying to, but it just wasn't good enough for her.
Right.
So I don't know if y'all got to verbal abuse yet, or y'all getting to that.
I know, we gotta get to that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
To me, that's more for men. That's more damaging.
Yeah.
Hey, Dane, what's good, bro? Appreciate you showing up. I know we were just discussing that topic, and hopefully you heard the whole question. You know, so what do you think is bringing these men into these kind of relationships and just getting them started into a toxic or abusive relationship?
Personally, my mom did a great job trying to raise three boys to be men after my father died. My mom tried to instill or drive in me, tried to her best to call me certain words, certain names, to see if I can, jumpstart me, try to get some motivation out of me because I wasn't doing too well in school just because of laziness and being bored. Because some of the stuff it was just remedial, basically. I feel like can we get something else different and more challenging? But I didn't look for that in all my relationships. I look for the total opposite. I look for somebody who's chill, not as, I guess, amped. Like my current wife. I ended up finding that in my ex-wife. She called me. No, she didn't say too much. She just said that belittled me a little bit by. Then one thing in particular was she said I'm at a certain age. I should have such and such. And I'm not saying that you should have it, but usually a person by your age should have X, Y, Z. Like everybody's on different timetables. I had setbacks in my life. It wasn't like due to just being lazy. I had setbacks. So I think it depends on the individual how they stay and get in these relationships. I just recently saw somebody yesterday in our store, miserable, talking to his girl. Like she's shopping. God dang it. I hate being here. Some people do stay out of what's the word?
Necessity.
Necessity
or
and comfort and sense of responsibility toward that person.
Yeah, or just being complacent because they don't feel like starting over.
Yeah, like they think they can't do
or
better.
feel like they can't get they feel like they can't get nothing better. This person has mentally fucked you so bad that you feel like this is as good as I'm gonna ever get because I don't deserve nothing better.
You stay with what you think you can get. If you don't think you can get past ugly, then you're gonna stay at ugly. You're not gonna think you can get past, on somebody on Sunny level. No, you gotta try harder on that one.
I'm not even nothing to write home about, but okay.
Man,
seeing those reunion shots, huh, Dan?
Sonny. Listen, Sonny. I'm ready to have alimony taken out my check right now. Just so you know.
You know what?
So
no wonder we're trying to figure out who's having sex with Sonny
every week.
I definitely
still ain't have none. Trying times right now.
That it's definitely like a per person situation. I definitely agree. Like Smooth has said that there's a lot of low self-esteem involved in some of that. You've definitely seen that. They play it out on TV shows a lot where women are demeaning the men. Women are it's like what they call it handpicked, right? That kind of thing. Or to Haim's point about being obligated or feeling like they can't get better than what they're getting. So I definitely agree that all of these situations do line these guys up to get into these situations. But back to Smooth's point and Dame's alliteration about the fact that women demeaning the men, it's one of those situations where they're not picking up on the abuse, right? They initially get the name calling or the screaming at them about something and maybe a shot is thrown at that moment and they're not picking up that, hey, you're getting verbally or emotionally abused. Let's talk about that.
I feel bad.
Go ahead, Sonny.
I said, see, now I feel bad because I had a heated discussion with my son's father about how I talk to him in argument situations. And I basically told him, this is why I don't argue, because I'm going and that's just with anybody. It's not even just with guys. For guys specifically, I don't call females bitches, but I will call a nigga bitch. I call them because I know what that's going to do to you.
Mm-hmm.
like me calling another female a bitch, we've been called bitches. This is normal for us. I'm not gonna be upset
What you're
with
saying is you go low, and you know you're gonna go
oh,
low.
and this is why I steer from arguments. And he said to me, "You can't say it to me. I'm a man." And I said, "Well, this is why I don't argue. This is but like there's a problem I have is if I'm telling you I don't want to argue, that's the reason why, because I'm not. There's no set rules for me to argue with you. Like I'm not going to follow these guidelines of not saying specific words because I argue with the intent to extremely piss you off. Like that's how I'm arguing.
You're not arguing checking the chart for what you can say and what you can't say.
Yeah, I'm just going to be completely. My goal in the argument is to completely just assassinate you in any way that I can verbally. That's how I am with anybody, whether it's a female or a man. So, like I said, most females hate when I call them unproductive because would that mean you're a lazy bitch? So, like when I start calling you, certain names, you're gonna get at it. Like that's my goal is to go for the jugular. So, like you telling me how to argue with you, and then now that you're saying that, I understand that can be taken as a form of a verbal abuse. But like this is why I say I don't like to argue, and then I get and then I get people upset with me because I don't want to argue. It's like no, because I can't follow guidelines while arguing. The same way I can't follow guidelines for fighting. You fall on the ground, I'm stomping you out. I don't care if you can't breathe. That's not my personal issue.
So this is the question for the guys. Then, guys, what do you feel happens to a man who's being verbally abused or being emotionally, incited, being told things to kind of basically bring him down? What do you feel is happening to that man at that point that's not allowing him to walk away from that relationship? Like what's causing him to just allow that?
I mean, I believe we touched on it. Mm-hmm. As far as low self-esteem and not feeling as though you can do better. One thing I always say, y'all heard me say this plenty of times. Men, I don't care what nobody tell you, ladies, men are 10 times more sensitive than women. It's not even
who you telling? I know that.
It's not even. Well, a lot of people don't. A lot of people walk around here like and converse and go about daily life as if that's not the truth. You feel me? That's why we get a lot of these fake and phony conversations. You feel me? Like that's why like some of these conversations are stupid because we know the truth, but we're not going to, you know what I mean, talk about
the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
And the elephant in the room is dudes are way more sensitive than men. So when a woman,
yeah,
especially a woman that you have feelings for,
it's the different.
You, like
yeah,
it takes a different toll. So 9 times out of 10,
on this.
9 times out of 10, especially if you're a weak man and you insecure, your initial response is to win that love back or to win that respect back. You feel me? So now you trying to fight, you actually rewarding her for her bad behavior. You feel me? She's being disrespectful. So now in order for her to stop being disrespectful, you trying to go above and beyond to gain her respect. And there's no way you can gain her respect at that point. It's already lost. You feel me? Or because if it wasn't, she would never speak to you in that tone and in that manner.
So this is one of those things for us as men is it takes so much for us to say, I'm gonna be with this woman or I want you choose you to go through my life with. It takes so much for us to hit that point that once you hit that point with somebody and now you is as open as you ever been with somebody and they take you there or shit goes left, that's why the dudes be more emotional than the women. Is because there's so much in there for a man to have to take himself to get to that stage. Like, and it's really like your self-restraint. It's like how much discipline and restraint do you have? Like I said, it don't really matter. You can say whatever you want. Words are just your opinion. And I'm not really into that many people's opinion. Like so you can say whatever the fuck you want. It ain't gonna make me want to smack you or nothing. You could talk about whatever. And I know in this situation, like Sonny said, we in an argument. If we're in the middle of an argument, ain't nobody checking the board to see what I can say and what I can't say. In the argument is how you end up saying something about her mom, or she said something about your dad, and now shit is going left. But we're doing that to incite the other person. We're trying to get you upset. We're trying to, like, that's the whole purpose of the argument. This is why, like Sonny was saying, this is why I don't argue. Me and my wife have been 16 years, I think we've been talking together, and we've had 2 arguments. Just because when you have an argument, we just both going back and forth and nobody's listening. We're not accomplishing nothing. We just screaming, hollering, and fucking up our own blood pressure and throats.
Yeah.
And not for a good reason.
Right.
And that's what I was, and that's why I was saying, like, I get what Clint was saying about the words you say when you love somebody, and that's what he explained. When you love somebody and you have that, or I think you were saying it too, Hein, when it's that level of love and you let somebody in and they belittle you
And then
make you feel
glass,
it bothers you. So I got what he was saying, but I had to get him to understand, which he didn't understand what I was saying. This is why I don't argue. This is why I shut down an argument. And I need you to not keep trying to bait me into an argument, because once we argue, gloves are off. Like, yeah, I'm not going to say certain shit, but I'm not going to call you sir. You a bitch. Like, in that moment, you're not really a bitch, but in that moment, you are. You a duck, you a lame, you all this extra shit that you're going to be. The same way I'm going to be every bitch, hoe, slut, whatever the fuck you going to call me. And I'm not going to be like, oh my God, you hurt my feelings. Like, we arguing. I'm not going to randomly
admit, I have never, ever been in an argument where my woman has called me out my name or I've called her out.
Oh no, I definitely, like, that's why I don't argue.
I definitely can't relate to that. And I think
I second that emotion.
But I think part of that, well, no, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, but I mean, I think part of it is the fact that I do check what I say when I'm in the middle of an argument with my loved one, the one I'm supposed to be in a relationship with.
I can't, like, I'm sorry.
To the best of my ability. Now, I have said some things. I have gotten some remarks that, you know, some things that I've said has either pissed the person off that I was in a relationship with, or that, you know, that I may have said something that made them feel a certain way. But it's never been to that point.
But that's the thing. Like I won't go for the jugular in that manner. Like, I won't be like, you know, normal female stuff. When they argue with you, they say that's why your XYZ is this. I'm not that arguer. Like, I'm not that person, and that's just with anybody. I'm just gonna, like, my I get off of name calling. I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you names.
So that's about to be my point. My thing is that I think a lot of guys get into these relationships because they want to be in these volatile, I don't want to say they want, but they get into these relationships with these volatile people. I'm sorry.
They get off on it.
Right.
Because they only know chaos.
But we never argue. We had 2 arguments in our life.
Right. And they enjoy that drama. They enjoy that chaos.
Conflict.
They enjoy being talked to like that, so that they can come back and talk back like that to the person.
But,
I've never gone through that, but I got a friend that I know for a fact he loves that when he gets in an argument, he's basically allowed to call his woman a bitch in the middle of an argument. And it's like I'm like, I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Like, my woman, like I might call her some wild and crazy names while we having sex, but I'm not about to call her something wild and crazy while we having an argument, while we in a heated battle. I'm not about to call her anything that I feel like is going to escalate that battle even further and cause any more rifts in our relationship that we already have at this moment. Go ahead, Dane. My bad.
No, you could. How much abuse can a man take from his woman?
Oh, and appreciations, Jamie, my man.
Jamie over there giving Willie love. I don't know, but yeah.
So
Jamie's one of our longtime supporters, especially from the How to Hustle podcast with Hein. He's always
because he be all up in the comments. We be seeing you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it's my man. Follow me on Twitter for a minute. Shouts out to Jamie.
Shouts out to Jamie.
But how? So I have a question for you guys.
Let Dane finish his comment.
How much can abuse a man can take from his woman? Why would you want to press that man's luck and that man's pressure point, get him to a point where he goes off and smacks somebody? I mean, that's not cool on his significant other's part to try to push his buttons to that point, because everybody has a breaking point, especially men, because men only can talk so much before they have to get physical. and just have to. Some people can control it more than others. Some people can't. Then they go to physical abuse. Then police are called. Then he got a record. While she goes off and hurts another man's feelings, and the cycle continues. Then you see the baby mama drama. Then she's always in these physical relationships. Then you see her doing a podcast. With some other guys.
All right, we get it. We get it. Go ahead, Sonny. What was your question?
No, go ahead.
You have a comment, Smooth?
Yeah, let me piggyback off something before we get to that. It also goes back to how you were raised. So, and like what type of culture you're brought up in. So to Hype's point earlier, where if you're around chaos or something, some men, you feel me? No, I grew up around abusive relationships. You feel me? So the arguing and all that shit, you feel me? Like that's why I don't like to argue now as an adult. I don't like to argue. I'm not arguing. If we not about to get to the shits, even with a nigga or like just I'm going about my business. I don't like arguing. But before, I was never of the ilk of just letting a woman talk to me any old type of way. You feel me? I'm gonna let you know about yourself. So I'm totally different from what, like Willie said, he never disrespected. I'm guilty of that. You feel me? I'm man enough to admit that. You feel me? You disrespect me, especially when I was younger, that disrespect coming back tenfold.
Yeah.
You feel me? Tenfold.
In my defense, I wasn't disrespected either. So it was mutual respect being given.
Okay, exactly. Okay,
Yeah.
exactly. And then some of us, like we grew up in them toxic situations. So early on, our relationships tend to be toxic as well until we grow up and mature. So in those situations, I was extremely, extremely disrespectful. You get disrespect, you call me out my name, any slight, or like you want to take it there, let's take it there.
Yeah.
You feel me? That's how I was because I seen my uncles. Now this ain't just a dad, mom thing. Like I see my uncles go back and forth with their girls. I see my aunts go back and forth, with they man, cousins, same thing. So, boom, that's what I thought was normal. But as I got older, I couldn't deal with that no more. I don't even like arguing. I don't like arguing with nobody.
But and that's my thing too. Is that I grew up in a home where my parents argued all the time, like literally all the time.
See, my parents didn't argue in front of us.
Yeah, and
we never really heard it either.
Yeah, and luckily they didn't go to either to blows or to calling each other names. But I also did see, like you said, like Smooth was just saying, I've seen uncles and aunts go through abusive relationships. I mean, I watched one of my aunts get the crap beat out of her, and it was like you said, in my mind, I knew it wasn't normal, but in my society, like you said, in my society or in my neighborhood or in my environment, it was normal, right? It was like one of those things you saw it and you just kept it moving. So I knew then, and I knew watching my parents that I didn't want to argue. I didn't want to be with a woman that wanted to argue. I had dated women that was argumentative, and I would be like, you know what, this isn't working for me, and I moved on quickly. I was with women that had a little too much spice in them, that they just wanted to start drama just because they enjoyed it, and I'm like, nope, let me move on. I don't want to deal with that. So when I got with some of my longer term relationships as well as with my ex-wife, it was always like, you know what, this is the calm, collective situation I want to be in. And me and my ex-wife, we probably had a handful of arguments. Only one or two of them got escalated. And the funny thing is, the worst one happened before we even started dating. And we recently had an argument, but we're divorced. So
it didn't really,
marriage, we didn't really have knockdown, blowout, well, we never had knockdown, but we never had real blowouts. So it's always been like, you know what, we got to maintain some kind of sense and some kind of respect for each other.
Yeah. So back to, I just want to also say, in my household, like I said, I didn't grow up with arguments happening. My mom was physically abused, but I wasn't, but like that happened, but it didn't really happen in front of us. Like we were seeing the aftermath. Like we would come home and shit would be wrong with my mom, and we'd be like, "What happened?" So you kind of knew. But as far as arguments, we didn't. I don't remember hearing full blown arguments. Not unless one of the kids was getting in trouble and they were arguing about what was going to happen to that child. It wasn't really much arguments. My question for you guys is this: being that, like I said, I don't like to argue, and this is my problem. I hate when you get me to 10 and then I'm on 10 plus, and you telling me to calm down now, and you don't like what you've gotten now that you brought me to 10. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, this is why I don't like to get to that level. So from a female, as guys giving advice to females, because I don't want to be coming off of this if I'm abusive. But like I said, this is why I don't argue, because I know where I'm going with it. And that's with anybody. What do y'all think? Or what advice would you give me? Because like I said, I'm like Clint, I'm with all the shits. You sign me up and I'm telling you, I don't want to argue, and you keep signing me up. You getting called whatever I call you. And like Haim said, there's no checklist of how I'm going to argue with you. Whatever you get is how you get it. And that's with anybody. And it's like, because I've been avoiding this situation, and now you brought me here and you want me to reel it in for your sake. And I can't do that, because now you push the button and now it's a go. So how do I?
Easy. It's real simple. Be quiet.
I do that.
But that all right.
And then that's a problem. I did that the last time I did that, and it was like, oh, you don't got nothing to say. And then like now I'm trying to call the cops on people. I'm like, I ain't even say nothing. But there was nothing.
But who you gotta realize who you talking to.
Yeah.
You feel me? You having this, if you gonna have the same type of arguments, then at some point you gotta look at yourself and realize who I'm arguing with, why I'm keep having these arguments. So sometimes it takes a little bit of self-reflection. But my thing is, you feel me? I tell women all the time, stop arguing with a man. You feel me? And start getting to the point to like you saying you being abusive. Like, so if you with all the shits and you fuck around with the wrong one, then what?
Yeah.
Then what? So you got to think of the consequences of your actions. That's what you should be thinking about. You feel me? Is it really worth it? You feel me? Why am I going back and forth? What am I benefiting from this situation? You feel me? What may I lose if this situation goes too far? You feel me? You got kids. You feel
me? And that's what I said. Like, this is, and I said to that person, because like we only argued 3 times in the entirety that I've known them. The first 2 arguments were extremely heated, and it's like, well, no, the first one and the last one were like extremely heated. And I said to him, this is why I don't argue, and this is why when you try to do it, I shut down and I check out, and then you get mad because I don't want to participate.
Fellas, I know y'all heard this saying before. I know if you got a beat or leave her.
Yeah, I've heard that.
You feel me? Mm-hmm. The same rules applies to you ladies. Like, if y'all gotta get, like, I don't understand why y'all be in these situations with these dudes where it can escalate. And I ain't just talking about you, Sonny, because the conversation is bigger than just us. You feel me?
Yeah.
This is a broad conversation. So to all the ladies out there, stop getting into these arguments and these knockdown, drag out arguments with these fruitless niggas in these fruitless situations. You feel me? Nothing's coming from it. You're all except for destruction. So why? You gotta ask yourself, why do you continue? That's when you gotta feel like you can do better. You feel me?
I mean, to the point you were making earlier, it's like, you know, these men that feel like they can't do any better. It's the same thing with the women. They're literally sitting in these relationships feeling like, oh, you know, I gotta fix this man to make him what I want him to, because ain't nothing else out there any better.
Listen,
let me hear. All right, let me go back to what Willie was saying. This is why the scissors came out, Dame. I know you ain't on camera right now. I've always been a firm believer of you see the red flags and cut them the fuck off. I've had girls who, like, I know because I know you, I know your parents' situation was toxic. I know that you felt like your dad abandoned you, so you're going to always feel like a certain defensive type of thing toward all men, because it's like, if you wasn't good enough for him, why would you ever be good enough for anybody? So it's like the first sign of you trying to argue with me, I'm good. I'm cool. I won't engage. I've probably been on 10 in my life, maybe once or twice, because I know this is not going to end well for any of us. This is only going to fuck up our situation, whether that be my situation or your situation or us as a collective. Now we take it back to like my parents. My mom and dad was together from the 60s until 2009 when my dad died. I never heard one disagreement with my mom and my dad. Now, yeah, you wanted chicken, you wanted fish type of thing. That happens. That's not a, we're not talking like that. But there was never a time where anything ever, voices raised, none of that. So once I get my own family and once I'm looking for a woman, this is like, what do you mean? You want to argue? What? Like Sonny said, I'm with all the shits. I'm cool. I'll spot you in the club, crack on you. You got too much of that. I'm with all the shits. Then I'm good. I can't do it. And like you said, how do you keep a woman from being in that type of situation? It's a certain level of respect that we all have for certain people who, if you see Miss Jackson from down the street who you grew up with, you be 35 and you ain't cussing around Miss Jackson because you know better. It's a certain level of respect that you have for certain individuals that you ain't crossing that line. I can be as grown as I want. It's never a time I'm gonna come in my mom's house and it's fuck this, it's fuck that. It ain't never gonna happen. This is her. She always got it. I tell everybody gets the same energy except her. She gets a totally different guy. Because you have a certain level of respect and you know that there's a line that you do not cross with certain individuals. And if you're in that type of environment with a guy or a girl, you know he is not the type of guy that I need to go here with. I don't need to keep poking and prying and fucking with him because he's going to take it there. You know she's not that type of girl because you know she's going to take it there. You got to recognize these situations and be honest with yourself. Especially, too, when y'all having these arguments, you got to look at it from her perspective. Stop just always thinking you're always right. When you come down out of the argument, you got to say, what was she really trying to say? What was he really trying to say? And that way we have a discussion instead of an argument.
Oh yeah, I like that. That's and that goes to the whole thing of speaking to listen, right? Or being in a conversation to listen versus speaking just to be heard. And
conversations are when we're listening to each other talk, not waiting to just have my point.
Exactly.
I've been trying to make. I know I'm saying this regardless to whatever the fuck you say.
Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. That's just grown folk talk. Let's stop the bullshit. Half the relationships we talk about not real relationships.
Exactly.
A lot of this shit is sexual relationships. A lot of y'all relationships out here are built off sex.
Well, how many people know the difference in that though, bro?
Yeah,
that's what I'm getting to.
Some people don't even know really what to look for a relationship to have a real situation.
They don't know how to communicate. Back to the point you was making. They don't know how to communicate. So it's so many women out here who are and men out here are really just physically attracted to each other. They don't have no other commonalities. They can't communicate
properly. As a motherfucker.
Yeah, that's all. You feel me? Oh, he fucking the shit out of me. Oh, she do this, that, and the third one, and that's all y'all got. And y'all keep saying sex is so important to a relationship, but sometimes that's all y'all have.
And that's the part you got to get past that.
Yeah.
Hold up. Funny you brought that up, Smooth, because on this week's episode of the How to Hustle podcast, episode 40, it is emotionally unavailable or physically unavailable. Which one is worse? You find out tomorrow, 2 p.m. on the GFT Radio Network.
Yeah. And that's the thing, and that's why I said, and it goes back to I know the conversation we had before about when you know that you're not right, you need to take time for yourself to heal yourself. A lot of people are not healed from past hurts and all this stuff, and we're broken people going into broken situations and getting all up in this mix. And it's like it's just crazy. Like you said, we have to communicate. And like I said, for me, it was a lesson learned for me on a lot of fronts. And at this point, I don't even want to be bothered.
Right. And everybody, another thing,
be bothered.
Stop. We all got to stop taking cues from other people's relationships as well.
In fact,
you feel me? Like we got to figure out. Goes back to when we talk about proper community. Only way you can communicate properly if you know yourself. A lot of us don't know ourselves. You feel me? We don't even know what we like. We don't know what we love. We don't really know what we into for our own self. But we heap these expectations and stuff on our partners. You feel me? So a lot of times these situations could be avoided by just knowing yourself and knowing what you're willing to put up with and what you're willing to what you can and cannot handle, so to speak.
Hey, Smooth. We had a dinner one day. My man is like the only one who's single, ain't got no girl. So we talking to him. I'm like, so what are you looking for? Like, he like, I know what I'm looking for. So what are you looking for? Man, I know what I'm looking for. I'm like, so tell me at least like two things. He ain't have no answers. This nigga is 36 and still does not know what he's looking for in a woman. That's the problem right there. If you don't
That's a
know,
big problem.
if
Yeah, that's
you
a big
don't
problem.
know, like Smooth just said, honesty starts in the mirror. If you don't know who you are when you look in that mirror, you can't possibly go to say I'm looking for this, that, or whatever. You won't know where you're weak or where you're strong if you ain't gonna be honest with yourself about it. I hit Willie yesterday. Hey Willie, I got some tech shit. You know, I don't know nothing about this, bro. This is I'm saying I'm passing the ball to you. I need you to help me out with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've always talked about in my situation where it took me until I was getting a divorce to realize I didn't know what I really needed to be happy, and I think it's because a lot of times, to Smooth's point, we're in these relationships where we got one or two things that are being fulfilled, and then we just stick with it and we just roll with it, and then we don't take a step back and self-reflect to realize we don't really know what the hell we doing in this relationship. We just ended up here. So we've never taken the time to say, you know what, I really need to understand what makes me happy. Why am I in this relationship? Or what do I need out of a relationship? I was having this conversation with my godson today. You know, I told him, I said, look, you know, you're young. It's okay to be good with potential. That's fine. I was like, but you also need to look at yourself and say, am I allowing, or am I stepping up to the plate, doing the things I want from my partner? Am I doing, we talked about on a show we just did a month ago, like am I living up to the standards that I want my relationship partner to be in? Am I getting out of a relationship what I feel is going to make me happy or is going to fulfill my needs? You know, we got needs, we got wants, we got desires, we got all these things popping up. We also have these, you know, when people are talking about red flags right now, but you know, there's also these things where it's like you have things that you just won't accept or you just won't allow in your relationship. You got to know what those are and you got to stick by them and say, you know what, I'm not going to allow this in my relationship because I know it's damaging to me. You know,
exactly.
To the point, not what's damaging the Dame, not what's damaging the hype, what's damaging to me. What is causing me heartache? What's causing me to have you know,
anxiety.
And you know what's funny too, Willie? I just got to that point where, for me, and it's crazy, emotionally safe with somebody. I have not felt that. That is a big thing for me. I've like, just in life, period, I've never felt emotionally safe with anybody. Like I've always been most of my relationships with people, friends, or relatives, and dating wise, a lot of them were not, I wasn't emotionally safe with them. And that's and I realized that that's a big thing for me that I definitely need. Like that's why I said you have to take time to learn yourself, because you have to learn what you need, what works for you. Because what I know I can't do is get involved in a relationship where I'm letting this person dictate my emotions. You do one thing, I'm just fucked up for the rest of the day because now I can't function because you completely, like, that's another thing. Like, I'm just finding things that I need to work on.
Have that kind of power over you.
But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, but that's what it's been for me for the last couple of years. So I have to. That's why I said at this point I'm at a standstill of nothingness or not doing much of anything, because I know what I need. Like, I'm learning the stuff that I need, stuff that I don't want, and that's the thing. A lot of, and that's because sure I can go into another relationship and I could be like how Clint said, or what mostly people go through when you got low self-esteem. You attract people that are like addicted to that. They have to save you, or whatever the case may be. They may show this one front and be a completely opposite way. Next thing you know, I'm back in an abusive situation. Or, you know, so we have to work on ourselves. And I think that's another thing why people and men, as well as women, get into these relationships, because we're not healed.
And a lot of people need relationships to define who they are.
Exactly.
They're defined by the relationship. But one thing I wanted to get back to, you know what I mean, as far as men, because we want to focus on men real quick. Mm-hmm. I need the ladies to understand, you feel me, all men are not the same. A lot of women out there think all men think alike. You feel me? Or we all move to to a certain
To the
code.
beat of the same drum.
Yeah, and that's not necessarily true. You got 4 men on here, 4 mature men. Will all handle their business.
3 and impossible.
Sound like you got a shitty hand on spades now.
Oh no.
Three and a
Hey, she
possible.
called you the possible, dang. I call 8
How you know it was
Yeah,
Dame though?
yeah,
How you know it was
but
Dame?
my last 3
'Cause I see-
messages have been better what she said out loud.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna leave that there.
True. But
Damn type game on the bean tonight.
but at the end of the day, you feel me? We all think differently. You feel me? We all were raised differently. You feel me? We all got different, different cues that set us off. You feel me? So it's like a lot of times when I hear women talk, they feel like they could just talk to all of us a certain way and put all of us in a certain box. And we're not that. We're not that. And I think it's because most times, most women aren't like this in a position with Sunny in. Most nights when we do our show, where she's surrounded by men having these conversations. Y'all don't hear men having these type of conversations all the time. That's why y'all need to be around. Go ahead, bro.
I got 2 things. One, people who don't be knowing what they're looking for, these type of situations and conversations is the shit that wasn't around forever for people to tap into and then be able to take a look at themselves. So this is one of those things that kind of changes with this next generation, hopefully. Because again, you got to recognize that is the problem. Shit, it was something you was fucking saying, and I had a great fucking thought in my head. I should have typed it up like Dane, and now I done fucking lost it. Damn, Smooth, you were saying something too, and I'm like,
let's go ahead and let Dave put in his 2 cents. He's been over here with the Twitter fingers. Let's go ahead and let him.
Hey, I already did it while Sonny was talking. I'm good.
Okay, I feel you. All right. So my last big question to you guys is what next? What should these guys do? I mean, we've kind of talked about it, right? We've talked about, checking in on yourself, healing yourself, not allowing certain things in a relationship. But these guys are in these relationships. They've allowed the women in their life to do certain things. They're being physically abused, mentally exhausted, emotionally dragged. What should they do next?
Get help.
Can't be afraid to leave.
Yeah, get help and walk off.
You have to understand, this was something that I got from my man. Shout out to my man TJ. T told, like, T and his wife had got divorced probably like last year. And he was like, it's one of those things where it's like, just because you got married, it's like you can't be scared to walk away from that situation. You have to understand that if this shit is not better for you, it's not what's best for us, it's not what's best for our child, then all we doing is damaging our whole situation. Now we're damaging everybody. Because she gonna grow up with a sense, or he gonna grow up with a sense of, was the love that I saw fake my whole life if my mom and my dad really didn't fuck with each other? Like, if they really was just holding it down just for me or for us, or however many kids you got in that situation, like, was the love ever even real, or what was real and what was fake in that whole situation if all that was keeping them there was just the kids?
Right.
So you gotta not be scared to walk the fuck away. I mean, you gonna have to start over, but somebody else might like your happy ass, your goofy ass.
So Jasmine said, and I appreciate the other comments. Rashana, she said basically leave, make your way up out of there. Jasmine just said, would you consider a woman trying to force her form of communication on her man as a form of abuse?
Yes.
When women do that, how does it make a man feel?
Yes.
Now I know what the fuck I was gonna say. It just came back to me.
Go ahead, Hank, before you lose it.
Something that Smooth was saying about other people's relationships. My cousin grabbed me 2 seconds after I got married and told me, if you want your marriage to work, keep other people out your business. In that, I see, me personally, I'm an extremist. I don't know how to half do shit. If I'm doing something, we all away with it. So at the first couple of years, it was like, well, I can't talk to nobody about nothing that goes on. But then I had to realize, no, you don't go to him and say, look what this bitch did, or look what she said. you go to people and get advice, but it all goes back to the same reason. Like what's wrong with this last generation that's coming up now is bad old heads. It's not having the right person to talk to. I got like
Right.
my aunts and my uncles who've been, I call cousins, aunts, uncles, people who I know are in real relationships. My aunt and my uncle been together since they was 13. They're 70. Like, okay. I call her to get the female perspective because I said I try to look at it from both sides whenever you in any type of disagreement. I call her to get her perspective. I call my uncle to get his. I got another aunt. I got another aunt. I got a cousin. Like, you got to go to the right people to get the right perspective, but you also don't give them, hey, she been cooking the food this way and I don't like it like that. You don't give them what the problem is. You just ask, hey, in a scenario like whatever, how would you handle it?
Mm-hmm.
Came back to me.
Go ahead, Dame.
Yeah, you get both perspectives actually, because I do take a grain of salt from somebody who has failed marriages, see what they did wrong, like see what their perspective is on things. Like, I don't discount Steve Harvey too much. He's been married what 3 or 4 times, so he knows what he's talking about when he's failed his relationships. I take that into consideration, but I'm going to take it with a grain of salt. I want to listen to like what Hype said about going to people who have had successful relationships as being with each other since they've been birthed. I listen to them. Like, you don't tell them everything. You just tell them how you feel about a certain situation, not too much details about XYZ about your mate, because you want to have some type of respect for your relationship with each other and for your spouse, because you don't want, even though they say they may not be taking sides or judgmental, people still will
People,
emotionally
Yeah, you
emotionally
copy.
take that side. They be like, I don't like the way she's talking to him or the way she's treating him.
Especially once you crack that door and tell them like this is something is a problem or that's a problem. It's a subconscious thing where they're going to take sides.
Yeah.
Like
and I guess that's my point.
I had a person who was actually saying something. I was telling him about how I felt about a situation. Maybe it was just me. Like, a lot of stuff I would keep internally because I might just be tripping. You know what I'm saying? It might be something self-consciously wrong with me. I don't tell everybody. I just might tell one person. And no, I talked to Will about some things. Hopefully he didn't share none on the air with do the podcast. But
Oh, that was Dame you was talking about when you told me that shit yesterday? That's crazy, Dame. That's fucked up, Dame. Damn.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Everybody stand
So
up.
what's your answer to Jazz's question?
Hold on.
No, go ahead, Smooth. Go ahead, Smooth. What you were saying?
Yeah. I wanted to cap off that what they was talking about. Know your audience. That was my point. Know your audience. Don't just be going to get advice from that toxic cousin, that toxic aunt. Like Hype said, go to the ones who you know that has some type of
Foundation.
Success.
Some sense too. Yeah.
As far as what Jasmine said, yes to the first part of that question. Yes, that is a form of abuse, because that's exactly if the shoe is on the other foot, that would be an abusive male. That's an abusive relationship. You feel me? You trying to force this. That's not good communication. You feel me? You just trying to bend his will to yours. You just trying to make him believe what you want to believe. Now, communicate how you want to communicate. There's no compromise. That's what relationships is a compromise at some point. You know what I mean? And when women do that, how does it make a man feel? It's frustrating. Mm-hmm. It's because it's like we don't want to be heard. You're belittling our thoughts. You feel me? You thinking we're not smart enough to communicate properly when in fact men think more logically in most situations. We thinking for the looking for the logical outcome, not the emotional one. You know what I mean?
I mean, like I abuse this nigga.
And to that point, like I was in a situation where I wanted to have these conversations with the woman I was with, and it was like, let's talk about this, and it was like, oh no, I'm gonna give you a certain form, I'm gonna do this the way I want to do it, and you're gonna have to conform to this. And at first I was like, okay, we could try it that way, but I want to also talk about it in this other way. And it was this back and forth where it was like, it was never my way, or never let's try it both ways. It was always just her way, and it just, like you said, Smooth, it was very frustrating, especially because the way she wanted to communicate, I felt didn't allow us to have the ability to convey our feelings behind what we were saying, or the way that we wanted to discuss things. It didn't allow us to have like a fluid conversation. It was always a one-sided thing. It was like, here, I'm giving you all my information, all my ideas, all my talking points, and you just got to accept that. And then, now you come up with what you want to say. And it's just like, okay, I get that, but I also want to be able to have this fluid conversation so that the ideas can flow, so that the understandings can be there, because I want to be able to understand exactly how you feel, what's the sticky point for you, because you're gonna express that in your emotions, not just from me getting a list of things that you want me to understand. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was one of the like you said, frustrations that I had in that relationship. Jasmine said,
that's,
how do we get
that's a big one.
more open with us if they are not an open communicator?
Because then to tag along with that one, I've had conversations with a guy. So we start off a conversation about something that matters, right? And they get to the point where it's almost like they shut down and say whatever you want, but that's not really what they want. And then they turn it back and say, well, you said this, so I just went along with it. And it's like, no, I'm bringing this to you because I want your opinion.
Yeah.
I need you not to shut down. So how do you get, to her point, how do you get them to open up?
Go ahead, Hype.
This is a thing that we all do. We talk about when we come into a relationship, well, this is the way that my family did it. And then she goes, this is the way that my family did it. When you are trying to become a unit and become a one type situation, we can't talk about what I did and what you did. We have to talk about what we're doing, what works for us. Not what works for your mom and your dad or your uncle, and however, like, you can't try to put everybody else's situation into our situation. We got to have real conversations to be able to come to a mutual understanding so that we can prosper our situation. If we are in a situation where we cannot have a real conversation with your woman or with your man, this is the person that you need to get away from. This is a red flag. This is not somebody that you want to have making decisions on pulling the plug on you or not. This is not the person that you want to have taking care of your kids and running all of your shit, because you have to think about this when you try to be with somebody, especially once we get to grown folks talking, we at a certain age, you start to look at shit differently. You start to look at, is this motherfucker gonna wipe? Is this motherfucker gonna wipe my ass when I get to a situation where I can't? And if you feel like that person ain't that person, then you can't keep going down this road with them. If you just fucking just hit and roll.
Yeah. Right. Facts.
Yeah.
Now there's some
my bad, trying to sell a few jerseys here on the side, you know what I'm saying? Custom hustle jerseys on Instagram.
now there's some good points to that, Hank, that when people get comfortable with what they know and grew up with, like when they bring stuff to the table, like, well, this is what my family did, this is what my family did. When you're becoming one unit, trying to become a family, you're going to bring both those ideas to the table to see which one you like better, which one we're going to throw out, and which one we're going to keep. Or
copy.
Maybe make a mission.
Or make it your own.
Yeah, maybe make something your own. Because you don't always have to just throw it out just because it's from somebody else's past. You just like, I'm going to take that into consideration. We're going to come up with something that works for us.
I wasn't saying just throw it out because it's from the other person's. Maybe it's the way y'all did it could have been a good way, but you can't always have it your way. It can't always be like, well, we always put paprika on it. Well, we never put salt in ours. Like, it can't always be like that. It has to be like, let's find what works best for us. Yeah. Maybe we're going to use Splenda instead of sugar because our asses are both diabetic. Like, you never know what the situation is.
Right. Did you have another comment, Smooth?
Yeah, now I'm having a fucking brain freeze like Hank. I want to think back on something he said. Damn,
I hate that shit.
Go back to the other comment while we wait for Clint. Go back to the other comment while we wait for Clint.
So the last point I wanted to make, the other comment. Another comment? I think I'm all right.
Don't indulge Dame. Dame's having a moment.
The last thing I wanted to say, or just to mention, before we close out the show, close out this topic, is that, to the men out there is help out there. You know, if you think you're in an abusive relationship, you think that there's problems, because they say one of the biggest issues is that men want to be validated, is that they'll usually go and they'll try to get advice, or they'll try to get validation for how they feel about what they're going through. So go get the validation, go get the advice. There's helplines out there, there's therapy, there's your friends, there's your family, there's the GFT radio show. Whatever you need to do in order to get that validation, do it so that you understand what you're going through and either get help or get out.
And don't forget, there's seminars every month. How to Hustle with Hank.
Actually, those
Just
are every
saying.
week from November the 7th to December the 5th. How to Hustle seminars. We're breaking down different situations every week on the How to Hustle seminars, you were saying, to help brand building. It's not just for podcasts. If you have a business or anything that you would like to bring, that will be marketing, relationship building, how to make money and turn a profit into your situation, all of that will happen on the How to Hustle seminars. You DM me. This will be a small price, but it'll be well worth your time.
And we
Every Sunday,
has to
2
say.
p.m. Eastern Conference.
Yeah,
I said Eastern Conference, Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, let's make it
back to the point. When it comes to relationships,
Appreciate the plug, Danny.
When Hype was saying that, like, a lot of people don't think about the long term. They don't. It's certain questions. So a lot of times when people in these relationships get in these relationships, they're really infatuated with each other. They're not thinking about, like what Hype said, well, damn, what if such and such gets sick? What if my loved one gets sick? Am I going to be there for him or her? You feel me? So, ladies, ask yourself, the man you with, if you get sick right now, something happened to you, is he going to hold you down? You feel me?
Facts.
Is he going to hold you and your kids down? Fellas, look at that your girl you with. Look at her real closely. Something happened to you, she going to hold you down? You feel she gonna be there in the long run?
Some of them won't take care of you get the flu. Like, let alone something severely happen to you.
You get laid off, is she going weather that storm with you till you get back on your feet? Or vice versa? 9 times out of 10, y'all not even having those conversations.
Yeah, the cutting and running for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not even in a relationship, but I know one person that I know if I fall short, they got me.
And to that point, you know, there's this whole conversation about, you know, I mean, it's almost it's almost an annoying conversation right now, but the conversation is valid to Smooth's point he just made, is this point of, you know, are men and women on these completely different sides of the table when it comes to what they're looking for in a relationship, in terms of, like, the men are only looking for a woman who looks good, who's going to take care of kids, who's going to cook for them, stuff like that. And then the women are only looking for men who are going to pay all the bills and, you know, protect them from hurt, harm, and danger. And that's it. That's all they're looking for, right? On both sides. And just these menial basic things, and versus, you know, these long-term goals, these requirements for emotional support, these requirements for long-term support, these requirements for the love and the affection that they need. So there's just these basic requirements that they're talking about that they want. If a woman says, "Oh, I just want this guy because he's gonna pay all my bills," and then he gets sick and has to be laid off, or he gets maimed and can't do the job that he does, what is she gonna do? You know, how is she gonna? What is she really gonna be? Appreciation, Jamie. Appreciate that. You know, what is she gonna be to him? Is she gonna still be his wife? Is she still gonna be his backbone? She's still gonna be his support? You know, that's gonna be a hard sell if he can no longer support. You know, he can no longer bring in that $150,000, $200,000 a year that she been living off of, and that's all she was requiring of him.
Facts. That's facts.
Fact. On my stat on Facebook, I've been on Facebook a lot lately, abnormally. I said something. Communication is an evolving process. You feel me? So most people think, you know, the way we communicate with each other now, so it's going to be the same way we should communicate with each other 10 years from now, which is completely, idiotic thinking, in my opinion. Like,
yeah, that can't be, because we had to grow in them 10 years, didn't we?
Exactly. Some people don't, though, Hank. You feel
Oh,
me?
some people have birthdays every year and never grow, never mature,
Yeah.
never get any better at this thing. Copy.
And this goes for friendships and everything. Sometimes some people are still looking at you through a lens that hasn't been updated from 10 years ago or
Facts.
5 years ago. You feel me? So they thinking they talking to Hank 2016. You feel me? You like, nah, I'm Hank 2021, motherfucker. But you feel me? Like I'm a whole different animal out here. You feel
Y'all
me?
know I always do this. I got an episode coming up exactly about this.
For real, but it's a real thing. It's a real thing. So sometimes, you know, in relationships, I tell women like, you know, when you talking to me, you feel me? Like we just had our reunion. Shout out to Rashana because I believe Rashana in the comments was at the.
Yeah, she was at the reunion.
Yeah, salute to you, beautiful. You know, that's like me going to the reunion, talking to somebody I ain't seen in 20 years. You feel me? As if they're still that same person from 20 years ago. You know what I mean? Like,
Facts.
Like, yo, you still sweet for it?
Yeah. And that's the funny part because they expecting a part of you to be the old you, and it's like, listen, I done growed up. I said growed up, and I meant it. Like, yeah, I'm not the same person I was because if I was me in high school, oh no, I was reckless, reckless. The me then would not be having this podcast now.
We definitely look good, baby. We definitely did.
Reckless. Yes, we did. We was out there shining.
Yeah, like this is like my me and my friends from high school. We had got together. A couple of us got together a couple months ago, and me and my man is talking. Now, you know, in high school, y'all together every day, all day for 2, 3, 4 years. Now, shit, we probably seen each other 6, 10 times in like the 15 years that we've been out of school. So it's like if somebody asks you about him, like, yeah, that's my man. But truthfully and honestly, me and my man is talking about this on the ride up, and it was like, we got to relearn each other. We knew each other as 17-year-olds. We don't know each other as 34, 35-year-old men. Like, niggas ain't had no responsibilities or nothing back then. We was just doing whatever. Like Sonny said, you just young, wild, and free. Now niggas is like, I got a life insurance policy and I gotta go get my heart checked next week, and my leg been hurting. I got 3
homeowners.
kids.
They got kids.
That's what I'm saying. Like, some niggas, like you saying, like, man, some niggas never grow. Some niggas never evolve. Some niggas been doing the same shit since '93, and it's like, this is one of them things I always tell, like, all my friends. Like, my friends were always older than me because my brother is 4 years older than me. So I always hung with niggas that was older than me, which is why I always looked at shit different. And it was always like, I always tell niggas, like, if I'm 34, how old are you? Like, so if I'm this age and you're what age and you can't figure shit out, I can't do shit for you at this point. Cause it's like, I'm trying to get my shit on a stable ground, and I can't be trying to stabilize our ground for all of us. Nigga, I got wife and kids that be stabilizing. Like,
you know, you always get that one person who don't want to grow up, who has that Peter Pan mentality. I know this one guy who's a couple years older than me, did not want to do things for himself. Like, hey man, I got a job lined up, man. They hiring here, crazy. They need some people. He does not have a job. I tell him, he just like, yeah, man. When you get in there, let me know how it is. What the? They're giving jobs away, and you're saying, let me know how it is. What kind of mentality?
Yeah,
is
nigga,
that?
I'll let you know how it is because I'll be down there with you. Fuck you talking about?
Listen, that's the type of person. Like I feel like this. If we at your age we are, and you still doing shit that we was doing back when we was kids, I can't fuck with you. You ain't grow. If you are the exact same person I knew in high school, and you ain't like, yes, I'm still silly, I'm still funny. I'm not out here knocking people out just off of dumb shit. Like, I'm not out here on no reckless shit because I got kids now. If I was still the reckless me in high school and I'm 38 now and I'm still reckless, nobody should be talking to me. I ain't grow. Like, I'm not about to bring that into my life. If you still on some chaotic nonsense, I can't be a part of it.
That shit ain't cute. That shit ain't cute at 38. It's cute at 18.
Right.
Hold on. The crazy part is it's barely cute at 18.
Exactly.
Well, no. The perspective that if y'all both 18, you don't have the perspective to know that it ain't cute.
Yeah,
It's
you just
you
out here.
because we
It's
all
like
like,
just
tolerate
like
it. No, you
that's
tolerate
like
it.
when you sober and your friend hella drunk and acting unproductive, and you sober, you're like, nigga, why is you acting like this? But if you was drunk too, you wouldn't even give a fuck that this nigga doing the same shit he was when y'all both was drunk. It's that I got clear goggles on and you on some bullshit. I can't
No,
fuck.
man.
it
I
goes
remember one night them niggas was drunk and I was sick and on pills and shit, and it was like, man, I can't drink nothing. It was like, nothing's this funny, y'all. It's not this fucking funny. Just get in the car.
Listen, I had
it
one of
goes
them
a
nights,
bit
sober as
first.
hell, motherfucker drunk as hell, unproductive. I'm like, so you just out here just being dumb. Okay, I can't.
As you get older, it has different levels. 18, man, y'all was tripping, y'all was crazy, y'all was drunk. Ha 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 ha. You get 20 something, man, y'all tripping, dude. Y'all need to chill out. 30 something, I'm over here. I'll holler at you later. 40, you don't even talk to that person no more because you've evolved into a better person of yourself then. But them, some people just don't want to grow up.
Yeah, indeed.
And one thing, since we here and we talking about growing up, and like Rashonda said, adulting. Woo! I always talk about, you know what I mean? I was joking on Twitter the other day. I was proud. I had a good adulting week. You feel me? Like I felt like my adulting was highly productive, abnormally productive. You feel me?
Right.
But the problem is what we said. A lot of people don't have no blueprint.
Right.
You feel me? We grow up in this environment to where, you know, we think we grown, everybody grown, but nobody's an adult in the room. You feel me? We all want to do grown shit, but don't nobody want to be responsible. Don't nobody want to.
Right.
You don't really see that shit on a regular growing up.
Everybody want to be a nigga, but don't nobody want to be a nigga.
Yeah,
Everybody want to at work. Everybody want to be the boss, but nobody want to take the responsibility in the lead.
Yeah, true that.
For real. Because it ain't no reward. You feel me? It ain't fun. You feel me? It ain't fun to be sitting there. You got a pocket full of money. Like, man, I could go do some shit right now. But no, you can't. You need to go put that money in the account, put it in kids' account. You feel me? Go invest some of that shit. Go do something.
I got enough in my kids' account.
Bro,
put that mug in your refrigerator.
I blew an income tax check in a weekend when I was young, wild, and free.
Wow.
Okay, me and my cousin had the bachelor pad. We hit a couple of parties that weekend. I went Sunday night, like, yeah, we go slide, grab this trans pass. Whoa, what the fuck is happening to my account? Whole income tax check was gone. So now, nigga, if you going out, you be budgeting and that shit 6 weeks ahead of time.
I'm gonna save up about to go save up to hang out with $20.
My son teacher said to me, she said, when you get your little income tax, she said, make sure that if you're gonna spend it on something big, make sure it's something that's in your household that you're gonna know where your money went. Like, if you gotta replace the furniture, at least you know this is where my money went. It's not some unproductive thing that you can't tell. You done blew $6,000 and you don't know where nothing went. It's just stupid shit.
That's the dumb shit niggas was doing last year with that money. Niggas was getting PUA.
Yeah.
No way in hell I was getting. There's no way in hell you was getting $600 extra a week, and you ain't got something to show for it.
What I was just about to say, Deion Sanders Jr., his son, had made a post. He was like, a lot of y'all get money, then y'all want to go spy it on nice ass chain and a nice ass watch. Now you sitting there broke with a nice ass chain
watch,
and a nice ass watch. You feel me? That's worth less money than what you paid for it now since you wearing it.
Right.
You pulling a slingshot up to the apartment complex.
Exactly.
What are you doing?
Now that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's what
The
niggas
world's
was
most
doing
expensive
last year.
slingshot.
And but that goes to show you our mentality. You feel me? We not taught
I'm
that.
hungry as fuck.
We're not taught that. See,
That was random.
That's what you call a lack of adulting. A lack of adulting right there. You feel
I
me?
had dinner. I had Chinese food. You know Chinese food don't sit with
There you
you.
go, Sonny.
I just had lo mein. That's all I had was lo mein.
No.
I wasn't hungry.
Hey, Hank, she can wash it down with this.
I got some sunflower seeds for you. You feel me?
Man, I'm over here fucking. I feel like I'm
Sonny,
like I ain't got
blood
no eggs
sugar's low.
in here.
How do we get on food? I don't even understand what just happened there. How do we all of a sudden now we talking about food?
Sonny,
I'm
blood
sorry, I'm
sugars is
sitting here
dropping.
like
That's
my
what
stomach is
happened.
like. Grrr. I'm like, bitch, I'm hungry. Like shit is real.
That's why you know you're supposed to order the extra shrimp roll for
I'm
later.
texting motherfuckers by like, what time you come this way? Can you what you passing on the way here? I need to know.
The shoulder banners.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, y'all know y'all can always get content right here at the GFT Radio Network. On Mondays at 10 p.m. you can catch us here on the GFT Radio Show. And on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. you can catch Hank on the How to Hustle podcast with Hank on the YouTube channel for the GFT Radio Network, as well as all of your favorite audio podcast locations. He's on there. And
wristbands are available.
Right. The Styles and Chevy recap will be back very soon. We will be recapping the Eternals as well as
when did that start?
Just no.
It came out last week.
No.
It's on Disney Plus, right?
No, it's on the theaters.
No.
Oh yeah.
Thanks a lot, Scarlett Johansson. We'll never have another Disney movie on Disney Plus starting off. So,
please don't.
It's only at the theaters.
Okay.
But
Please
yes,
don't,
we will be recapping the Eternals very soon. If not this week, coming up next week, we'll be doing that. Matter of fact, no, I'll take that back. It's definitely next week on the 17th. We will be back
I'm on
the 17th. Yep, I'll get you on there, Smooth. Movie was awesome, so we're definitely gonna be talking about that. Styles Radio Takeover every other Thursday, 10 p.m. Gaming with Styles is on the opposite Thursday, so make sure you catch me Thursday nights at 10 p.m. I am back. I will be back on. Wait, am I? Yeah. I will be back on this Thursday. Doing. Actually, I'm going to be doing Gaming with Styles because I'm going to be doing a special sexy playlist with the Sex with Sunny show next week. So I'm going to delay.
So Willie is having sex with Sonny this week. Is that what we just?
Well, no, this week is I'm taking off.
We're going to be Gaming with Styles. And
next
bring a
week,
little
next week
make sure you bring a little trail mix because you see she's a little hungry.
We're gonna bring y'all the sexy music next week, so make sure y'all look out for that. So that's the Sex with Sunny live show on Fridays at 6 p.m. And then catch our boys over at the Fans Perspective on Sundays.
I gotta jump on one of these fans' perspectives.
Oh, no doubt. Make sure you do that.
Let me know.
No, thank you.
Whenever.
No, thank you. No, your Dallas Cowboy input is not welcome.
Well, they got chopped off yesterday.
Chill. Why y'all gonna bring up old shit? Like,
Hold on, wait, hey, coming for your jugular real quick.
They got bullied. They just got bullied yesterday. That's all I know.
Just like Michigan State.
I ain't gonna hold you. I was doing the seminar during the Cowboys game. I came downstairs, it was 27-0. I'm like, what the fuck happened? This is Denver.
Without Von Miller.
Yeah, like I'm like, this is a homecoming game, nigga. I might be able to bring a date to this prom because this shit, it's about to be popping.
Terrible. All right,
yesterday was
you ready to get your info out?
Yeah, you already know it's your girl Sunny. I am Sunny _D, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and TikTok. TikTok forced me out of retirement, my sabbatical, and had to show up. And so I've showed up there. So go there, follow me, and go to my website, unreservedlyme.com. Brittany, what up, though?
Oh, Brittany says the Steelers game is on now, 26-27 Bears, even though the Steelers have been winning the whole game. Anyway, Steelers have the call.
That's crazy because I was trying to look up the score when she just.
If you guys are curious.
Brittany's a huge Steelers fan for some reason.
Why?
She loves her Steelers, so.
They do got 6.
They trash. only team in Pennsylvania. Hi, Brittany, I love you, but the only team in Pennsylvania that matters is the Eagles.
Uh-oh.
So you said we don't have football in the state. Copy. I got you.
Hey, Brittany.
This is why I don't like football. I don't care about it. I like football movies and stuff and documentaries, but I don't like football.
So you like any given Sunday,
you know me,
The
I'm
Waterboy.
clueless of all of this. I'm like,
Remember the Titans is my favorite movie, but you know.
Y'all enjoy.
What up, Joe? Before I give any information out,
Oh shit!
today is November 8th.
The birthday coming up.
8th. Yep.
The hell with my birthday. It's my dad's birthday today.
Oh yeah, happy
Shout out to
birthday!
Pops.
You feel me? My birthday wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for my pop and my mother being grown when they was young. You feel me? Shout out to my king though. He wasn't perfect, but he was the best dad I could ask for. I was late getting onto the show because I was out with my brothers and sisters, his wife, his widow, Laura, and the family. We all went out to eat together. So I want to give a shout out to my pop. Shout out to my Uncle Ben. You know, he's in the hospital. He's doing, you know, he's fighting, so to speak. So shout out to him. Shout out to the family. You know,
you talk to Jamal.
Like they said, my birthday coming up 11/11, Thursday. Holla at your boy.
All right, happy birthday, Smooth.
Thank you, thank you.
Old man status.
Shout out to Smooth.
Brittany was a little upset with y'all comments. She said y'all lucky she got her bonnet on, so she would have jumped on here.
Oh man, you got the do-rag swinging, huh?
Thank you, Rashana.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely too for your uncle too.
Yeah,
definitely. Shout out to Pop birthday. Yeah,
right, happy heavenly birthday to Pops for sure. All right, who next? We got Hype up next. The man with 1,000 businesses.
That's what I'm saying. You're gonna come to me after Smooth hits us with the heavy joint. All right, let's lighten up the mood a little bit. Hype. You follow me on Instagram and Twitter at I am Hype. That's HYMPE. It's Hype. It's not hype. I'm not geeked up. Custom Hustle jerseys right there on the bottom of your screen. It's my clothing line at Custom Hustle jerseys. Pick your own numbers, colors, all of that love. Out of town, it'll cost you a little extra for your shipping and handling, but I promise you it's worth it. And H2H Cleaning. That's my cleaning company. You can also follow me there. You make it worth my while. I can make an out-of-state run for that too.
Come to Detroit.
You make it worth my while, nigga.
Dress. I want a jersey dress.
It's me.
If you make it too big and then you get it trimmed up, you know what I'm saying? We can talk off there.
Before I go with my introduction, I would just like to say something not serious. Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback is older than all of us all put together. He needs to retire more than Tom Brady. Anyway,
he did retire, and he just didn't let everybody else know.
It's a me. You can find me on Twitter at Agent D-Lo. Agent D-Lo.
Twitter handle.
Shinlo21 on Twitch. Agent Shinlo on Xbox and PlayStation Network. Another Level Up on Instagram.
AKA Carl Woodlow.
It's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Get at me everywhere at Willie Styles on IG and on Twitter. I'm Willie.Styles on Snapchat. I'm over on gamingwithstyles.com if you want to watch me play some games every now and then, very infrequently lately because I just had 45 years of Styles celebration. So just finished that month-long celebration of my 45th. And you can get me at stylesradio.com for all the hot tracks that I'm listening to. What am I listening to this week? I'm listening to Nolo, the GOAT from Detroit. Make sure y'all check out Nolo. He goes by Nola G on Spotify. He's on Apple Podcasts, Apple Music. Also Ken, K-Y-N. He's also from Detroit. Also Stu. So make sure y'all get at all those great artists from the city of Detroit. And williestyles.info for all my links.
I just smacked Cinco. He tried to fight my feet.
I forgot, y'all. Before we tap out, the How to Hustle seminars is going to be running until December the 5th. How to Hustle seminars. You get at me. Like I said, we're going over different things every week. And if you missed the first one, if you're not on live to get on the live Q&A, you can be sold the archives just as you will be sold the live stream.
Hustle hard. Hustle hard.
Hey, right. Always a
Every
hustle.
day I'm
Close-
hustling.
Closed
Every
mouth
day
don't
I'm
get fed on this
hustling.
boulevard.
Right,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure. Make sure y'all get the merchandise. We got the t-shirts, we got the sweatshirts, we got the hoodies, we got the masks. I had my mask in here a second ago. Oh yeah, we got the mask. I do have it. I was wearing this yesterday at the movie theater. So make sure y'all get this merchandise over at
I turned this heat off. I'm dying
gftradio.creator-screen.com,
over here.
or you could just go over to our website, gftradioshow.com, click on that shop now link at the top of the page or the top right side of the page, and get directly to the site to get our merchandise. GFT_radio on Twitter and Instagram, GFT Radio on Twitch, GFT Radio Network on Facebook. Join the conversation group over on facebook.com/groups/join the GFT. Join the conversation. Make sure you get at us.
He over here snotting. Willie snot.
Shout out to them Braves too. Yeah.
Shout out to them Braves. I don't know what they did, but shout out to them.
Oh, shout out to my
Wait
sister
till Sunday.
Jazz. She comments from time to time. Her birthday is the day before Clint, November 10th. She is fellow Scorpio.
Oh yeah, Joy as
They
well.
won-
Joy's
They
been
won
on
a
the
little
air
thing
quite
called
few
the,
times.
they won a little thing called the World Series.
Yeah, what little thing called the World Series. You know.
Oh yeah,
Jay,
World Series.
one of our
Forgot about that.
one of our
I didn't know baseball was still a thing, bro. Like they still do that. They still be out here
Hey.
hitting balls with sticks. Like that's crazy. That's crazy.
one of our commenters and group in the GFT group.
One.
Okay, who cares? In our group channel, Jay Ridgway McGruder has the same birthday as you, 11/11. She puts it every year, so I just had to put that out there.
All right, shout out to my birthday twin then.
All right, happy birthday to everybody. All right, we out.
We out.
Talk to y'all later. Peace.